In this video, I'm going to share with you the exact frameworks and models that has helped our firm scale to multiple seven figures, and also we implemented the same models in our client businesses. Now, these models are really simplistic to understand, and there is a misconception in the market, and people are saying if you're small, you're better. That is really a wrong way to go with. What they do is they're building strong connections and investing time in each of the person, and this is why they don't have a proper mechanism. And so the best way is actually to productize your service. And so the marginal cost of replication of your product should be minimum so that you can scale it faster, because you can't scale chaos. In a service-based business, a one-man show can't be scaled. Before we get into the video, just do me a favor, subscribe to this channel and like the video. That helps the channel a lot. Let's get into it. So the first model we have is the cycle of unlimited return, and why you should understand this. And this is really important because any product or service that you want to create, this is the psychology or the philosophy of a business. You've seen all these big tech companies like Meta or LinkedIn and all of these platforms. What they have done is they are calling you user. And now why your user? Because you're using their product on daily basis, and now they have made the product a habit for you. And so once a product become a habit and a part of the daily lifestyle, that is an inevitable solution to your existing problems or problems at a smaller level. So what happens is they become a source of recurring revenue for them. And so this is a model that is more applicable in SaaS, and you can obviously take it into the service business. And we are utilizing the offer that we are building actually based on these principles. And so what happens is that you create an asset which actually solves a smaller problem for a client, then they like it and they promote it and they become a user of your content, because you are gradually increasing the level and depth of a problem solving in your offer. And this is how you come up to a value ladder which reaches to your main offer. So this is a cycle of unlimited return, and you can charge any amount going ahead in the value ladder. And you can apply the same cycle of unlimited return in your content marketing. So what happens is you identify some problems, severe problems in your client business, then you create a small solution for them. You build content based on those solutions, and what happens is within that content, once a problem is resolved, it creates new problems, and those new problems are now your content base, and from there you start to create new content, and this cycle continues, and the person is engaged in the cycle continuously in the loop. And this is how they are being nurtured, they are being educated about your product or your service. And this cycle of unlimited return can only be understood with this value ladder, because you are moving up as they are consuming your content. That's a loop which is going up in this main loom, which is the growth cycle, and it's called a value ladder. And what happens here is, for example, you have a small asset which we call the SLO, a self-liquidating offer or free value lead magnet that you provide to your client. You're not charging, or you're charging really small. And what happens is it is solving a smaller problem for your client, which in turn create other problems, as we mentioned, and that actually let the client buy your main offer, right? And your main offer is where you are putting in most energy and efforts. And so if you can see on the graph, the revenue to the energy graph, and this is where everything gets interested, because the revenue increases on the right side and the efforts increase on the upper side. And so once you're promoting the main offer and someone buys it, and then you have a subscription community after the main offer. So people normally just stops once someone buy their main offer, because they can't retain people. And the retention is a big challenge. And I also upload some content on retention. You can watch that. That's really important for you to actually retain client at least for a year. And so if the person is interested and they have actually got results from your main offer, what happens is you can then shift them to the subscription community. That is where it becomes a source of consistent revenue for you. And after that, you let the person join you as a partner, which is a partnership approach. And in the partnership, what you see is you're getting maximum revenue with less time and energy input, while on the main offer, you're giving maximum effort, but your revenue isn't that great. So this offer, which we call the value ladder across the effort, energy, and revenue cycles, are really, really important. And if you understood this the right way, what happens is your business would be, completely transformed by 180-degree. This is a game changer. You need to have upsells and downsells to let the person be in your environment, in your ecosystem. And if you can't create that ecosystem, forget about scalability and those dreams. That won't happen. because you don't have an ecosystem for that. I hope you understood this model. Now, normally what happens in client acquisition is people are giving inputs and they are then complaining like we're not getting the output, but the model is actually broken. And this is a traditional model that people are utilizing. We call it the crowd model. And what happens here is people are doing lead generation, then outreach appointments and closing. These are the like simplest, solid thing that people are doing, giving energies, and they're putting in manual effort on lead generation, right? And they have like human power backed by like VAs or all these people who are doing the conversation. And if you want to scale to $100,000, you have two dilemmas. One is that you have to scale your offer to at least 10,000 in order for you to close 10 deals and have less people in the team. And option two is you have to decrease the pricing, but your team members have to increase. And what happens, this balancing act actually just gets worse with time. So you need a proper structure system. So you can't scale to $100,000 with just simple talent. You need to have frameworks and systems and infrastructures built in that can be repeated at faster stage and that can serve many people. And so they have the same framework where they have problems in retention, like the normal crowd model. And what happens is when there is a low retention, then you have difficulty in scalability and you have low margins and low profits. And this is why you get average talent, which gives you average output. And this average output results in client being unhappy and dissatisfied, which in turn repeats the cycle. But this cycle is worse because it makes you hit the gravity faster than the speed of light. What you need to understand is attention is the new currency, we all understand. And so you need to generate attention. If you don't have eyeball watching you, you can't have a proper business. And so attention generation is the first phase. Then you have to own the attention, then you educate it, and then you have a converting mechanism. We can do it via ads or organic mediums, but in organic, there are other ways, automated ways that you can reach out to people. You don't have to put in human power because that becomes really difficult. And so once you have an attention generating mechanism, then you can prepare a landing page where you can have the VSL. Normally not a sales type VSL. You have to explain the process and let the person on the other side decide what you want to, what they want to do. And so once you have the VSL set up, then when someone has the inquiry, they opt in, and then your sitters or inbound person reach out to the client, and then you have an automated nurturing sequences. You let the person add to the community where you further nurture them as you're actively posting in the community. You're nurturing people, providing them value, and then that's where they book the strategy call or your discovery call or whatever you call it. That's where you actually identify their problems and they walk through your content. And if you are not producing content, if you don't have any YouTube channel, then I have to stress this. You have to have a YouTube channel in this current scenario because the market is full of cutthroat competition and you can't have an edge unless and until you have a moat that we call a personal brand. So this is how the actual process looks like. Once you understand those fundamental frameworks and models, and then you understand the funnel and the system workflow of how you will have to let the person or your client goes through how that journey looks like. So once that's finalized and you have the flow set up, then there is nothing stopping you from achieving the levels of income. You just have to let the traffic pass through your existing system and you output the revenue. So I hope you got some value from this video. I have a lot of videos on this channel on funnel breakdowns and also different strategies that I share. You can subscribe this channel. That will be really valuable and will help the channel grow. See you in the next video. Thank you so much.